Welcome back to the channel. It is a new week and therefore a new subject that we were talking about here. And this week we are going to be looking at the idea of self-sabotage when it comes to your auditions. Now this can be applicable to both drama school and to professional auditions. So regardless of where you're at, whether you're applying or whether you're out there in the profession, in the industry, actually auditioning, what I say today will be applicable to both. So let me first off actually talk about what self-sabotage is. So self-sabotage is just you doing yourself a massive disservice in a situation where you need to fully commit to something. And that can be for reasons of being really unsure, being really fearful, not believing in yourself, having really limited beliefs. And what that manifests as is you playing really small. When in fact, what you want to be doing is playing big. Now let me start off by saying that I am a massive self-saboteur. I self-sabotage all the time. It's something that I am constantly battling in my professional life, in my work as a coach, all of it, where you have to kind of chime into this mindset of going, whoa, okay, well, what the heck is going on? Why am I doing this? Analyzing it and then trying to rise above it. It is a constant battle, a constant striving. So if you experience this, then believe me, you are not alone. This is a universal, this is a global thing. It seeps into the idea of imposter syndrome, and it's something that can just really prevent you from fulfilling your potential. And especially in an industry that is so incredibly competitive, so uncertain, so unstable, you want to at least have your own back if nobody else does. So without further ado, these are the various ways that you could be self-sabotaging when it comes to your auditions. So number one, not actually putting yourself up for the opportunities. Now in regards to drama school auditions, say that you're not applying to the schools that you think, wow, I would really like to go there, but you don't apply because you don't believe that you're gonna get in, that there's a certain hierarchy and you don't fit the bill for some schools. So you only apply to the schools that you believe will give you a place. So then you're not rating the school very highly and you're certainly not rating yourself very highly. Now look, you've got as good a chance as any to be getting into any school you apply to. Half the battle is you just committing to the idea that you are worthy and you are at the standard that they are looking for. And when it comes to professional auditions, because so much of our industry is about hustle, that you don't just leave it up to your agent to sort out, that what we should be doing is actually contacting casting directors, contacting new agents for representation, contacting theatre companies and producers and directors, because you know that there is work coming up, there are opportunities out there. That what we do instead is we don't send that email, we don't reach out, we don't make that connection, when so much of our industry is about connection. It's about networking. And if you're not willing to put yourself out there, then what you are doing is sabotaging the potential of your career. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should be constantly on your emails and constantly reaching out and hustle. What I'm saying is that if there is an opportunity that you think, I am suited to that, there's a project out there that I could potentially be cast in, then reach out. Have a legitimate reason for reaching out to those people and just bloody do it. And if you find that the thing that is holding you back is some kind of fear-based understanding, then get curious about that. What is the fear? What would be the worst case scenario? If you send that email, what could you get in return? Now, in a lot of circumstances, we think that the person on the receiving end of an email like that is going to laugh at us or ridicule us or blacklist us, or that simply you will get no reply. Or in some circumstances, you'll actually get the audition and you'll go in and you won't perform well. Now, in all of these circumstances, the likelihood of any of that happening is very slim. Casting directors, agents, theatre producers, they're constantly on the receiving end of emails like that because it's their job. They expect those things. They don't think that you're wasting their time. They understand that you are fulfilling the need for the job. So what I would say is just don't think of yourself as small, as unworthy, as if you're lacking in some capacity in comparison to other people around you. Put yourself up for the opportunity. Contact people. Apply for the drama school that you, for some reason, think that you're not worthy of getting into. Having a certain air of confidence and belief in yourself is something that's going to set you apart from other people. I touch on this a little bit in a previous video, which is to train or not to train. It was all about whether you should be applying for drama drama school or whether the right path is to go into the industry. I'm going to link it here below, but definitely check it out because I go a little bit more in depth about why you should be applying for certain schools and putting yourself up for certain opportunities. Point number 2 for self-sabotage is not fully preparing for an audition. Now, I'm guilty of this. I am massively guilty of this, that you get an audition through and you think, okay, well, I don't need to do anything, it's fine. Maybe I'll read it and I'll just wing it when I go into the audition room. Of actually actively avoiding preparation is the self-sabotage. You need a foundation of preparation whenever you go into any kind of audition. You need to have read the material, you need to understand your character, do the research on the people that you're applying for or the school that you're auditioning for. Do your research on the people that are on the panel or the school that you're applying for. Those are the things that are actually going to make you feel fully prepared and therefore comfortable in the room when you go in. Oftentimes we don't fully prepare because we think, well, if I put all of that effort in and still get a no, then it will sting so much more than if I only do it half-heartedly. Because then I can just blame it on the fact that, well, I didn't fully prepare, that's why I didn't get accepted, or that's why I didn't get cast in that role. And that is just a bonkers way of thinking about it. And I'm saying this as much to myself as I am to you guys, because we think the more effort that we put in, a no will be even harsher. So we don't commit thinking that it will hurt even less if we get a no. When in fact, the only surefire way of getting closer to getting a yes is actually putting the effort in. So make sure that whatever you're going up for, you are fully preparing and fully committing. So regardless of whatever opportunity you're going up for, that you are fully preparing in advance. Point number 3, leaving preparation to the last minute. Now this is especially crazy if you're doing a self-tape audition because there are technical components that go along with that and it takes time. But also if you are planning on only reading a full play the night before your audition, that's not going to stand you in very good stead. If you have time on your side, so say if you have a week, 2 weeks to prepare for an audition, use that time wisely. You don't have to dedicate all of that time to it, but know that you can start reading the material in advance, prepare on a different day, actually kind of space it out a little bit more so that what you are doing is manageable and you're actually taking in the information by osmosis. If you leave everything to the last minute, then you are going to feel rushed, you're going to feel pressured, you're going to feel underprepared. And there are some people that really thrive in that situation, but for the most part, you want to be able to actually pace it out a little bit more to give yourself a better chance in the audition room. A lot of the time we leave preparation to the last minute because in our minds, it feels like we're downgrading the importance of the audition, of just saying, oh, well, it doesn't matter, I'll prepare it in a little bit, to try and trick our minds into thinking that the thing that we're auditioning for isn't that much of a big deal. Because again, if we get a no, then we can convince ourselves, oh, well, we didn't want it anyway. When in fact, all you're doing for a week or 2 weeks is putting it off and procrastinating, and all you do is kind of have that sense of dread somewhere lurking in the back of your head that makes you feel rubbish. So instead of trying to avoid it, actually go towards it, lean into the idea of preparation and doing it in advance. Point number 4, not committing when you're in the audition room. And this a lot of the time comes down to you just second guessing yourself. And when you're in a high stakes, pressured, nervous situation like an audition, you start to think, oh God, no, the choices, the creative kind of understanding that I'd come up with, it isn't good enough. And now that I'm in front of a panel, I feel silly for doing it. So what we do is we only commit 50%. We kind of stay on the fence in terms of our choices because we think, well, if I fully commit, what if the choice is wrong? And what if the panel don't like it? And what if the panel don't give me a place at the drama school or they don't cast me in the project because my choices are wrong? Now the thing is, all of our work is subjective. It is taste-based, it's opinion-based. There is no right and wrong, there's only clear and unclear. And yeah, sure, some of the choices that you make might not align creatively with the director and the producers, but that doesn't mean that some redirection in the moment can't clear that up. It's better to actually fully commit to a choice than only half-heartedly commit to some very vague understanding. Because the panel will start to think, well, if you're only going to be 50% committed to your choices, then we're only ever going to be 50% committed to you. So whatever decisions that you make in the moment, commit to them 100%. There's this concept that I was always taught when I was at drama school, which is go strong and wrong. So it doesn't matter if you think your choice is wrong, you commit to it in a strong way. You go 100%, because the only thing that can come out of that is for someone to say, hey, why don't you try something else? Especially in an audition situation, a panel don't want to be trying to get blood from a stone in terms of your commitment. That's not part of their job. Your commitment should come as standard. Point number 5, and it is a massive pet peeve of mine, especially when I've sat on audition panels and when I've been in rehearsals as a director, and it's the idea of apologizing. Now, whether that is apologizing just through your physical stance when you come into an audition room, or whether actually verbalizing that throughout an audition, of saying sorry constantly, of thinking that you are always in the wrong, that you are, in terms of status, very much lower than the audition panel, and you're constantly looking for forgiveness, you're looking for validation, you're looking for acceptance, and you're looking to please. Nobody, regardless of whether that is a drama school audition or a professional audition, no panel wants to have somebody constantly apologizing to them. Again, it doesn't matter if you're making a strong commitment to a creative choice that they then don't want you to make and ask you to do something differently. It doesn't matter, because if you knew the creative choices that they wanted you to make, then you would have made them. You would have known that in advance, but you didn't. So you committed to what you thought was appropriate in the moment, and that is not apology worthy. You haven't done anything wrong. Therefore, stop apologizing. Comes down to that idea of confidence and feeling like you actually have a place within the audition room. If you're trying to shrink away and make yourself small, then the audition panel is going to naturally not want to collaborate with that. They're going to try and pull away. Point number 6 is not committing to redirection. So similar to not committing to your own creative choices when you go into the audition room, whenever redirection is given to you, if you hesitate or don't fully commit or just don't play it and stick to what you've done in the past, then again, an audition panel is not going to want to work with that. And the self-sabotage element of that is the fact that the hesitation creeps in because you are unsure of yourself, or you're second guessing your understanding of the redirection in the moment. It comes down to that idea of being able to trust yourself and just having the balls to fully commit to what they're asking you to do. An audition situation is an opportunity for collaboration. They're not testing you, they're seeing whether you guys are a collaborative, creative fit for each other. So they want to have the opportunity to actually play and explore with you, and redirection is part of that. If you are just thinking that you need to get things right, or that you just need to kind of get out of there unscathed, then that is not an opportunity for creative collaboration. If you're unsure about the redirection, then sure, ask for clarity. But if you fully understand what they're asking for, then commit to it. Don't hesitate in the moment, don't second guess yourself, don't over question to gain a certain level of reassurance and clarity. Just go for it. The worst that can happen is that you miss the mark and they redirect you again. It's not actually that big of a deal. We constantly think that we are under some kind of microscope when we go into an audition, that we are there for the panel to find fault within us, when actually they're trying to find the good, positive elements in your performance, because they want to cast you, they want to give you the opportunity, they want to give you the place at drama school. And the final point is not learning from your experience. When you come out of an audition and you just disregard it, regardless of whether that is a positive audition and you actually get a good result from it, or whether it's a negative audition and you don't get a good result from it. If you don't start to analyze your work and just throw it out the window and hoping that you can just replicate whatever happened positively in the next audition, then that is an element of self-sabotage. This is a constant learning, progressing journey. So if you're not putting in the effort to actually analyze and understand what works well and what needs improvement, then you're not actually fully committing to your journey to improve and grow throughout your career. So make sure that you're being mindful of how you're preparing, how the audition went, what worked well, what needs improvement, and what you want to do next time. It doesn't have to take too long to actually analyze that work. That can take 10 minutes. But you need to be putting that work in for each and every audition that you have, because that will mean that you start to trust in your own process of what does work for you, what actually kind of chimes true, what actually rings true for you in preparation and actual process in the room. So you will naturally become more confident in your ability and in yourself, so that when you go into a high stakes nervous environment like an audition, you can feel like you've got your back. So there we are. They are my top 7 things that you should be looking out for in terms of your own self-sabotage when it comes to auditions. Now, no point am I saying that is a quick fix. Now you have watched this video and you are cured. You will never self-sabotage again. It is an ongoing process, so be kind to yourselves, understanding that it is not going to just change overnight. Commit to improving, commit to slimming the self-sabotage down, because the more you commit to that journey, the better your chances will be when you go into an audition room. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you found the content valuable, then just make sure that you click like and that you subscribe to the channel. And tell your friends about it. If you think that they will benefit from this material, then send it on to them. The more people get this information, the better the industry will be, the better the audition process will be, the better your approach to drama school auditions will be. It'll just be much better all around. But until next time, thank you so much. Bye.